so I've been working on making the other patterns for my face mask reviews, but I'm not done with them yet. So I've been working on that. I was working on it last week, didn't get it done in time. I've been working on it this week, still didn't get it done in time. So I did something quick because I still want to get a video out. And I realized that if anybody was trying to learn how to crochet, that they would have no idea how to start. And I gave all this information for people who already know how to crochet, how I do my temperature blanket technique. This is not a temperature blanket, but it's looking pretty good. So I have made this video on how to do basic crochet with how to chain and then do single crochet on top of that using this yarn and this crochet hook because it's really large. So this should be helpful, I hope, for people who are trying to learn how to crochet. And let's go ahead and roll that footage. In order for you to be able to see the stitches clearly, I'm going to use this very large crochet hook here. So this is the crochet hook that I normally use with this size of yarn I'm going to be using. And then this is the crochet hook right here that I'm actually going to use so that it might be easier for you to be able to see how it goes. Okay, so when I'm going to crochet, the very first thing that I do is I need to make a loop. So I'm going to make a loop like this and then pull some through with my fingers. So there's a loop and it's like I'm tying a knot, like I'm going to pull it through, but instead of tying a knot, I actually, like, instead of pulling the end all the way through, I just have the loop there. Okay? That's how you make a slip knot. So if I pull on here, then it will get smaller. Okay? And that is my first loop. Okay? In order for me to chain, no, wait, before I do that, controlling the tension is also very important. Okay? The way that I was taught was to have these fingers under and these ones over. And that's the way I used to crochet for a really long time. The reason why I add this little bit right here now is because when I learned how to knit, well, first when I learned how to knit, I did the yarn in this hand, and it was really, really difficult because I was used to being able to do it in this hand. But then when I learned how to put my yarn, control my tension, this is what it is being able to control your tension in this hand, then my crocheting instincts kind of took over. So I kind of have a hybrid of the two where I have my fingers like this, but then I loop it around one more time to just have a little bit extra control. All right, so my fingers are going to control how much thread is able to come through, so that way not too much goes through to make things super loose, but enough goes through so it's not super tight. And everybody has their own form of tension. That's one of the reasons why at the beginning of every knitting and crocheting lesson, they're like, you need to do a gauge swatch. Because even though the crochet hooks and the knitting needles are standardized, at the same time, everybody knits either a little bit looser, a little bit tighter, based upon how they control this tension. And so that's why you have to make the gauge swatches. I normally make smaller ones than they tell you to, but I still like to test it and then take it out before I start knitting or crocheting something by a pattern. So anyways, I've got my tension, and then these two fingers here, normally my middle finger and my thumb here, and will hold down this tail. So this is the tail. And then sometimes these fingers right here will also hold things in place. So that way, maybe these fingers. It's interesting that when you actually start trying to explain all the little micro movements that you do when you crochet, that it's kind of hard to explain. It's a lot like driving stick shift. That like once you learn to drive stick shift, like it seems so simple, but when you're learning it, it's like there are a million things you have to think of at one time. So anyways, it's muscle memory, right? So I guess what I'm doing is I'm holding down the tail with these two fingers, all right? And I'm going to control which way the hook is facing here, okay? To chain, I'm going to yarn over, okay? I'm going to turn it so that way it's easy for the thread to go through. And as I pull here and I pull or push here, I'm going to pull that yarn through like that. Now, I like to make sure that I get the loop fully on the full surface of the crochet hook before I get ready. Oh, I lost my tension. Before I start doing another one, okay? So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to yarn over, and I require a lot more yarn than I'm used to. Yarn over and turn, pull through. So now I have, is that 2 or I don't know. I'm going to yarn over. See how I can pull a little bit more out like that? I actually have control of how loose this is going to be in lots of places. Pull through. Wow. This is ridiculous. See how right here I'm actually pulling enough from right here that it's making this chain smaller. Okay, maybe I need to just give up that extra bit right now. And see if I can get a rhythm. I am not used to using this big of a crochet hook by any means. So there's a lot more yarn that has to come through this way than I'm used to. All right, so I've got a few chains there. Do a couple more. I am not counting, and I probably should be counting. But if I'm going to do a single crochet, then I'm going to skip the first chain, because if I try and crochet in here, I'm going to end up undoing this loop. So I'm going to skip the first chain and go to the next one. Now, there's lots of ways you can do it. You can go through 2 threads. I like to go through 2 threads, or you can go through 1. Some people turn it over and go through this one on the bottom. I don't know if it like there's lots of different ways, but I'm going to go through these 2 right here. Okay? See how I'm pulling on this and it's making this chain smaller and smaller and smaller? Okay? I'm going to enter, grab by yarning over, twist so I can pull through nice and clean, and then I have a second loop. Okay? And then to turn it, that just grabs the loop. Now that I have 2 loops, I can pull another loop through those to turn them into 1 loop. Okay? And then I'm going to do that again. Wow, it's hard to tell where I think doing that shrunk this one. Yeah, there we go. There's the next one. I'm not used to it being this loose. Okay? So I'm going to enter. Is that the next one? I'm pretty sure it is. Okay. I'm going to enter, grab, pull through, get everything nice and even, and then yarn over, turn 2 loops into 1. Okay. I think this is the next one right here. Enter, enter. grab. Ah! Oh no, wait, I started doing a double crochet. Oh my goodness. Here, let me start that over again. I'm not going to yarn over first. I'm going to enter, grab, come back, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2. Okay. There's my next one right there. No, don't yarn over. I'm not double crochet. I'm going to go through here, enter, grab, pull through, and then I'm going to yarn over, go through. I think I've got 2 more, so let's see. Enter, grab, pull through both, and then this is my last one right here. Enter, grab, pull through 2. Okay, so that is the first row. Okay, and then I flip it over, and then I would probably chain 1 since it's a single crochet, and then start working here. Now, most rules of crochet tell you not to go in here and to go into the second one. I found other ways to work around that, and it's crocheting is weird because where you're building the stitch from, the loops that you then build in on the next one are in between those stitches, and so it's not like knitting where just everything just goes up nice and evenly. It's kind of like more like how hexagons are stacked, where like you have a set this way and then a set this way and then a set this way and a set that way. So when I was younger, I would just go in here, I would have that be my first stitch, and then where I had this last chain that I skipped, I wouldn't crochet in there. I don't think that's actually how you're supposed to do it, but the point is that when you get to here, what you want to do is you chain 1 so that way you have the height that we're trying to get from a single crochet, and then you will enter, we'll skip this one just to follow rules of crochet, I guess, and you'll go make sure that you grab both of these. They look like kind of like a braid. Okay, and grab, pull through, and then go on as normal, enter, grab, pull through. Notice how I'm using these fingers here now to be able to hold the work exactly where I need it and to assist me in getting the crochet hook in where I need it to go. Okay. Wow, that comes out really net-like. No. Okay, so I've used that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think though, if I just turn it around now and I don't go into that last one that's the chain one, then I end up only having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches to go into the next time. Wait, I might have skipped. Wait, how many stitches have I done? It's really hard for me to tell right now because it doesn't look like I would expect it to. See, that's my first stitch right there. There's my second. No, wait, sorry, it goes this way. All right. This is my first stitch right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've only put in 5 stitches, okay? But it looks like I created this to have 6. So if I didn't go into that first one, then I have to make sure I go into the chain at the end. Like right there. That's right there, I think. This is one of the reasons I don't use a chain for a foundation anymore. I'm just gonna use this right here. There we go. Yay. Okay. And then I turn it over and I chain 1 because I'm doing a single crochet. If I was doing a double crochet, would I chain 3? Should I be chaining 2? I don't really know. See, my problem is that I didn't learn the official way to crochet that like pattern books and stuff have. Mostly, my mom showed me a few things and maybe she did teach me, but I was 7 and yeah, when you're 7, you understand things differently. And then I started reading pattern books and I was like, whoa, that makes sense, but wow. Anyways, so when I was little, I'll show you how I used to do it when I was little. I'm not gonna bother with where I chained 1 here. I'm just gonna crochet in this first stitch and treat it like a first stitch. It just creates a wobbly edge. I don't care. Oh. Grab both. Grab. Now, it's pretty easy to do with this big, huge crochet hook, but when you're working with smaller things, there are different plies inside here, and sometimes you'll only grab one or miss one. You need to go back and get it, okay? It's really easy on this because it's so thin in comparison to the size of the crochet hook. So, there we go. And because I did enter that first one, look at how many stitches I have up top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I'm doing 6 stitches. Alright, so then I turn it over, chain 1, enter here. No, wait, I started double crochet again. Stop that. Okay. Grab 1. I'm entering this first stitch here that's supposed to not actually count as a stitch. And there's the next one. It's 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. See, I think that's way easier to do because then you don't have to deal with the tiny chain. Like I said though, see, look at how it's starting to make it uneven on this edge. But I don't know if I care. Well, because you're either going to have to deal with unevenness or a hole. Or a little hole. See, because when I skipped the first one, oh, it didn't make a difference there. So it could just be because that's so much easier. Chain 1. This first non-stitch is my actual first stitch. It could be just because I was a 7-year-old that I just started doing it that way because it made sense to me. Why do adults have to make things so complicated? You know? And my tension was like way off. I highly suggest just practicing with something like this and then taking it out and then practicing some more. Although if a kid or you wants to be able to actually make something, make a scarf. Because you practice a lot and they'll still be warm even if the stitches are uneven. And you can be like, this is my first crocheting. Look at how far I have come. All right. I have 6 stitches on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do. Yeah. See how this one, this end, it goes over this way a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe it evens out. Anyways, so that's how I do a single crochet, starting off with a chain stitch. The only difference with doing other stitches is how many extra stitches in your chain you do. I wasn't counting how many chains I did, okay? But if you're going to be doing a single crochet, you need at least 1 stitch, right? If you are going to be doing something that is taller, like a double crochet or even a half double crochet, or a treble or something like that, you need more stitches. And I do not have an official book here that would tell me what that is, but I do know that you need more stitches. I would add 1 more chain. I would add 1 more chain for each level. So 1 for a single crochet, 2 for a half double crochet, 3 for a double crochet, and 4 for a treble crochet. And yeah, but I use a chainless foundation now, folks, so that I don't have to count my chains, because they actually end up being stitches. It's where you do a combination of the first row of stitches and the chain at the same time, and it's a lot more stretchy. This chain on the bottom is not near as stretchy as this one on the top. That's why some books have suggested that you do your first chain, that chain, in a bigger crochet hook, so that way you're looser here, okay? Or you can just have a looser tension. I always have a harder time just telling myself to have a looser tension. Chains just tend to be a little tighter for me. That's just my thing. All right, so practice. I'm like, if I really love this, I could continue doing this. Actually, I kind of like this kind of netting look, but I don't need anything. I don't need a coaster or anything like that. And so the thing I love about crocheting is that you can just take it out. You just pull and the loops come out. So if you messed up a row, you could just pull on it. With knitting, it's a little more difficult because if you drop it, then everything else that's connected to it can drop down, just like you can get a run in pantyhose. With crocheting, it's only going to take out one thing at a time. So if you find you screwed up, it's pretty easy to go back and be like, this is where I screwed up. I'm going to start here. I'm going to take out the whole thing. It's just loops. Loop, 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 loop. I'm going to roll it back up. Ah! No! It almost fell. And I have my ball of yarn rolled up again, and that is how you start crocheting. At least going back and forth. There's different methods for going around, and I think there's different methods for going around, but for just going back and forth, if you just want to make a scarf or a blanket, I would do a scarf first, okay? Then you will be able to start one. And then just practice. You have to develop the muscle memory. That's one of the reasons it's so hard for me to tell you exactly every single little movement that I'm making. because I've developed the muscle memory. So, yeah, practice. Don't be afraid to, you know, to just get some yarn, and if you have to take it out and try again, that's what we all had to do at one point. It's all part of the process, and as they say in that movie, you know, the Keep Moving Forward movie. I'm going to switch views and see if I could remember. So, I'm still trying to think of the movie. It's the one with where he did the traveling in time and the dinosaur that's like, my arms are too short, and I don't think this idea was really thought out. What is that movie? Meet the Robinsons. That's what it is. Meet the Robinsons. Yeah, I love that movie. Keep moving forward. Whenever you fail at something, you learn from it, right? And as a matter of fact, there's even some people who say that you have to make 10,000 mistakes in a language before you become fluent in it. And since I am fluent in Spanish and English, I actually believe that's true. And since I teach Spanish, I tell my students that every single mistake that they make is one that they made in a safe place and where they can learn and we can get better and that sort of thing. And it's much better to do that than to do it when it's actually something really, really important. So go ahead. Work on, if you're brand new to crocheting, work on it. Bruce, where'd you going? Work on it. And undo it. It's fine. Don't get hard on yourself, okay? Or make a scarf and don't care if it's ugly. Well, other people will think it's the most beautiful thing in the world. I can almost guarantee you, because if they don't know how to crochet or knit, they're going to be like, wow, you're so talented. This is amazing, right? And you're going to be like, oh, but look at this mistake. I look at this mistake. I look at this mistake. It's true. That's the way it is when you develop a skill like that. So you'll see mistakes other people won't see. So feel free to make them and learn from them. That's what you do. That's how you get good. All right? Right, Bruce? Oh, Bruce. Yeah, he's going to go down my back in just a few seconds. Probably. He's learned. There we go. Sometimes he surprises me. Yeah, so there you go. You gotta, in order to get good, you're gonna have to make mistakes. That's all I have to say. And that was one of the things in the movie, was that every failure is a way that you learn and keep moving forward. So, keep moving forward. All right. I'm gonna keep working on that mask tutorial. Keep moving forward myself. Not the mask tutorial, the mask review. Keep moving forward. Because I'm screwing that up, and I just gotta keep moving forward. All right. Next time. See you. All right, Bruce, do that thing again. Do that thing again where you jump up on the chair and it makes the chair spin around. Yeah. Come here. Oh, you have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, yeah, good boy. Oh, you made it go. Oh, good boy. Now, go up on the chair. Here, go up on the chair. Go. Oh, you didn't make it spin enough, but, you know. Oh, what a good boy. You're a good boy. Yeah, he makes the chair spin sometimes. It's very entertaining.